These are the craziest episodes of Quagmire. At number 1, Season 13, Episode 10, titled Quagmire's Mom. Peter is throwing a wild party at his house with Quagmire and a bunch of other people, and Quagmire is seen with a pretty young woman, which later turns into a one-night stand. However, he later discovers that she is a high school student.
What the hell? You said you were 23!
Yeah, and you said you love me.
Well, I guess you got me there.
Not long after, Joe and the police officers come to his house to arrest Quagmire for having intercourse with a minor. As a result, he is charged with statutory rape and put on trial.
All right, but let me just send the pictures I took of her last night to all my friends.
Oh, yeah! Boom! You're disgusting.
To save himself from going to jail, Quagmire asks Peter to be his character witness in court to prove that he is not a rapist. However, knowing Peter very well, this doesn't go well.
Mr. Griffin, she was underage.
Yes, however, Mr. Quagmire was born on February 29th. Ergo, he's only 12. Ergo, the girl raped him.
Even his friends, Cleveland and Joe, try to help him, but their efforts are in vain.
Why am I on trial? He's the one that banged a child.
When are we gonna see this chick?
Okay, enough! No more help!
So Quagmire goes on and on about how he turned out this way is because of his mother's upbringing and her sexual desires.
It's a boy, Mrs. Quagmire. How do you feel?
Horny. Could you put him back so I can push him out again?
I was born 9 times that day. The only way I learned my ABCs was by learning the names of all the guys my mom slept with.
But unfortunately, his sad story doesn't help, and he is sentenced to 20 years in prison.
I have no choice but to sentence you to 20 years in prison.
He keeps on quarreling with his mom for being a sexual deviant and prepares to go to prison. Just as he is saying his final goodbye to his friends, and when he is about to enter in the prison, the judge suddenly announces that he is free.
Commuted? I don't understand.
Hello, Glenn.
Mom? What's going on here? By the way, Your Honor, your fly is down.
Well, let's just say some new DNA evidence was produced.
All thanks to his mother, and their relationship is restored to its former glory. At second, titled Quagmire's Dad, we are first introduced to Quagmire's dad when he comes into town to attend a naval ball where he's being honored for his service in Vietnam.
Guys, I got some great news. My dad's coming to visit.
So we're finally gonna get to meet the man of 1,000 vaginas.
He introduces himself to Peter and Joe with a flashy entrance.
Are you ready, Boots? Start walking.
Seeing that, Peter and Joe start to text each other about Quagmire's dad's sexuality.
Orange. The breeze was just warm enough that you could...
Big gay fuck.
Big gay fuck, yeah.
So, Quagmire invites Peter and Lois as guests, but Peter shares his thoughts with Quagmire, suggesting that his dad is gay.
Yeah, no,
God.
it wasn't funny.
He's
It wasn't
hilarious,
funny.
that-
It wasn't funny. It was gay.
However, Quagmire doesn't seem to believe it. But after having a conversation with the Navy, Quagmire realizes that Peter may have been right.
It's great to see you back in your element tonight, surrounded by seamen.
I can't tell you how many loads your dad took when I served with him.
Huh?
Your dad had the best penis in the military.
To find out the truth, Quagmire flat out asks his dad if he's gay, to which Dan replies,
Oh, Glenn, I'm not gay. Now calm down, you're ruining this ball. You know how much I love balls.
However, he says something that leaves Quagmire speechless.
But I am a woman trapped in a man's body. And while I'm in Quahog, I plan to have a sex change operation.
Oh, come on, just be gay.
As Quagmire struggles to wrap his head around his dad, no longer being his dad, he goes around seeking help and understanding from Peter and Lois.
Whoa, I knew he was gay. I didn't think he was that gay.
The day arrives for Dan to officially become Ida, and she is invited by the Griffins to dinner. But nobody quite knows how to handle the situation. There are awkward pauses and tense conversations. After dinner, unable to accept this, Quagmire finally lets his thoughts fly free, telling Ida how much he's struggling with the idea of his dad having a sex change.
Oh, no, man, this is too hard.
However, he puts the final nail in the coffin when he ignores the struggles she must have had too.
I see. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Feeling rejected, Ida goes to a hotel bar, drinking the night away where she meets Brian. Unaware of who she is, Brian flirts with her, and Ida also flirts back. They end up spending the night together in the hotel room. The next morning, Brian brags about his new romantic conquest to Peter and Lois, even showing them pictures.
Here, Lois, take a look.
He then goes to brag to Stewie, where Stewie tells Brian that while he was gone, Quagmire's dad went through a transition. They joke about it until Brian realizes that Ida is actually Quagmire's father.
Oh, man, what do we call him now?
Ida.
In shock, Brian throws up for an extended period.
Oh, what? on! Well,
Ida later tries to reconnect with Quagmire, and while things are still tense, they reach a sort of understanding. Just as things settle, Ida tells Quagmire about the night she spent with Brian.
No!
Furious, Quagmire storms into the Griffin house and beats Brian to a pulp.
Now lay there and die, you piece of crap!
But Brian makes sure he finishes with the upper hand.
Hey, I fucked your dad.
At number 3, we have Quagmire accidentally marrying a washed-up prostitute during a visit to Harvard with Peter and Joe. So Peter, Joe, and Quagmire take a trip to Harvard University, where they visit a bar and get incredibly drunk. In this inebriated state, all of them go full-on crazy. The next morning, Quagmire wakes up horrified to find out that he is now married to a woman named Charmise, who is later revealed to be a washed-up prostitute.
Oh my God, I married a hooker?
Married? All right, bachelor party. Come on, back to Boston.
He wants out of the marriage immediately, but she refuses to grant him a divorce, making his life miserable.
A carrot?
It's the one she used on herself in front of us.
Oh, come on!
Quagmire, if you're going to be married to a whore, you're going to need to have a sense of humor.
Quagmire learns that the only way to end the marriage quickly is by claiming that he is gay, since Charmise doesn't want to be married to a gay person.
But I'm gay. Honestly, I thought your vaginal gatherings were the timid penis of a coy first date.
However, she soon discovers that Quagmire is not actually gay.
No, I'm gay, I swear. Here, watch me, Jen Aniston. More like Jen can't get a Maniston. See?
To make it more convincing, Quagmire enlists Peter to pretend to be his boyfriend and help him stage an elaborate act.
Charmise won't give me a divorce because she doesn't believe I'm gay. So I need you to have sex with me while she watches.
Peter plays along, but as usual, he takes things too far, making Quagmire uncomfortable with his over-the-top antics.
Nobody can ever know. There will be no kissing on the mouth.
Okay.
I changed my mind. There will be kissing on the mouth.
In the next scene, Peter and Quagmire kiss, which is one of the most disgusting things you'll ever see.
Oh, yeah, that was so hot.
Just like we always do.
However, their performance is questionable, and the plan starts to fall apart.
Shut up and do it!
Luckily, the situation is resolved when Charmise realizes the lengths Quagmire is willing to go to avoid being with her, so she finally agrees to the divorce.
I wanted to be somebody's wife, not somebody's burden. Good luck to you, sweetie.
In the next scene, it gets even worse. The episode, titled Meg and Quagmire, follows the Griffins as they prepare a surprise birthday party for Meg, who has just turned 18. Unfortunately, nobody but her family shows up to the party. As the party goes on, a guest arrives.
Today is Meg's birthday. So, where is the birthday girl?
Those of you who watch the show know exactly what Quagmire is trying to do. He's trying to get laid. So, he goes on about telling his pilot stories, which impress Meg.
Yeah, look at Quagmire hitting on that skank. You know he's gonna close the deal.
Peter, that skank is your daughter.
Oh my God, you're right!
Since Meg has never had much luck in love, Quagmire takes advantage of the situation and slides into her DMs late at night, starting with sweet messages before turning them into his usual flirty texts.
It's too much.
But his messages do work, and Meg agrees to go on a date with him, but Peter isn't happy about it. Meanwhile, Lois urges him to back off because, at first, she doesn't believe anything serious will happen.
We can't let Quagmire take Meg out on a date. That guy'll bang anything.
Hey, Peter, do you mind?
But I have to get dinner.
Go out.
You don't know how smooth Quagmire is, Lois. He's like a magician.
So things go smoothly between Quagmire and Meg, but it's undeniably weird as Quagmire is approaching someone who is the daughter of his best friend. Knowing how this will end, Peter tries to put a stop to their relationship because he's a good parent.
Well, now that you're with Meg, you don't need to be talking to Backbush, saying you're off the market. Oh, come on, I'm Backbush?
This can't be a surprise to you, Peter.
Yeah, I knew. I just didn't know you knew.
How about this one?
QM2? I'm not sure what that is.
It's Quagmegium. It's the strongest compound on Earth. Nothing can separate it.
Eventually, Lois also realizes how insane it is to let them date, but only after discovering that Quagmire is taking Meg away for the weekend to his cabin.
Oh no! Peter, look!
See you later, suckers!
Oh, good luck to them.
Peter!
So, Peter and Lois race to the cabin before things get out of hand. Meanwhile, Quagmire and Meg are bonding over shared stories by the open flames. It's already clear what Quagmire has in mind. Thankfully, by this point, Peter and Lois make it to the cabin just in time. It looks more and more likely that Peter and Lois won't make it before it's too late, until Peter busts down the door and interrupts Quagmire and Meg's underwear party.
You get away from my daughter, you pervert! Meg, get in the car. We're going home.
Peter lectures Meg and sends her home, while Lois leaves Quagmire with a final warning that he will remember in this whole life.
If you ever touch my daughter again, I will cut your thing off and feed it to Brian.
Okay.
On the next scene, we have Loretta and Quagmire on the episode titled Cleveland, Loretta, Quagmire. In this scene, things get awkward during an evening on the boat when Quagmire accidentally throws a fish into Loretta's shirt.
Hey, can I have my fish back?
Oh, you're gonna have to reach into the cookie jar.
Quagmire's a bit taken aback that he isn't the one making the first move, but he can't say no to reaching a hand down a woman's shirt.
Loretta, they have some of that 3-bean salad you're so fond of. Hey, Quagmire.
Cleveland was kind of a downer, which is probably why Loretta doesn't mind a little extra attention. But she ends up getting a little bit more than just attention. Later on the episode, Brian and Peter hear Loretta screaming.
Hey, do you hear that?
What?
Sounds like someone's screaming.
To find out what really happened, they get into Cleveland's house, but end up walking on something very bizarre.
Holy crap!
We should go.
What was that?
Shut up and put some more of that sugar in my bowl.
So Peter breaks the news to her husband that his wife is cheating on her.
Brian and I walked into your house, and she was with some guy going bam, 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 bam.
And when he confronts her about this, her response is pretty bland.
I'm a woman, Cleveland. I need some passion in my life. I need a real man.
So out of anger, he tires to beat Quagmire for messing up his marriage, but he eventually forgives him.
Oh, I can't. It isn't in me to cause harm to anyone.
And all thanks to Quagmire, Cleveland ends up his relationship with Loretta.
What you did was unforgivable. This marriage is over.
Well, that's just fine, Cleveland, because I am through being your wife.
At number 6, we have Quagmire's baby. After buying a faulty radio from Quagmire, Peter goes to his house to get his money back. He doesn't get his money, but he does get to witness Quagmire receiving some life-changing news.
Glenn, this is your child. Next time, wear a condom, jerk.
Let's be real, he probably has 100 other kids out there.
There's no guarantee it's your baby.
Giggity.
Oh, I say that.
But this time, there's proof. A DNA test confirms the note wasn't lying. He's now a father. When I say Quagmire has no clue how to take care of a child, I mean 0 clue.
There's some frozen steaks in the freezer. Bathroom's down the hall to the right. If you ever come home and there's a tie on the door, it means I'm frogging someone, so give me at least a couple hours. You smoke?
This has to be the worst start to parenthood ever. Not that anyone expected him to change, but having a child doesn't magically make Quagmire a responsible adult. He invites another girl over, only for his plans to be ruined when Anna starts crying.
Okay, stop. Just stop crying. Stop crying, Annalie. Oh, no wonder. You dropped your pacifier.
Desperate for a solution, he turns to Peter for advice. And of course, Peter gives him, well, let's just say classic Peter advice.
Now, this is just a suggestion, just throwing it out there. Have you considered abortion?
Since Quagmire has no real interest in being a dad, he takes what seems like the easiest way out. Adoption. He drops Anna off at an agency, believing it's for the best.
She'll be somewhere safe, right? Like, you're not going to put her with sand people, right?
You mean like from Star Wars?
No.
With Anna gone, Quagmire jumps right back into his old habits, hitting up the strip clubs without a second thought. But something feels off.
That stripper has a rash on her ass, just like Anna Lee used to get. And that stripper only has one tooth, just like Anna Lee. Why did I give away my only daughter?
He actually misses her, enough that he tracks down the family who adopted her, considering taking her back.
First step.
Hey, Joe, what you doing? You out for a walk?
I hate this block.
When he finds Anna's new family, he sees how well they treat her, better than he ever could. In a rare moment of sincerity, he makes the right decision and leaves her in a loving home.
She looks so happy. They look like a real family. I can't take her away from this.
Everything seems to be wrapping up nicely, until Quagmire opens his mouth and says something completely insane.
Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll bump into her in 18 years.
What?
Did you really think I was going to change that much? Get out, everybody!
Last but not least, we have one of the darkest and most disturbing episodes the show has ever done. Screams of silence. When Quagmire doesn't show up for a fishing trip, Joe and Peter go to his house and find that he's autoerotically asphyxiated himself.
He must have autoerotically asphyxiated himself.
So they rush him to the hospital in time to save his life, and the near-death experience rattles his sister enough that she comes to visit. The main issue is that she brings along her boyfriend, Jeff, who doesn't do a good job of hiding his abusive nature.
A stupid nursery rhyme isn't gonna wake him up, especially the way you sing. Right, man? Hey, you touching my girl?
Since they are staying with Quagmire, Quagmire quickly realizes how violent his sister's husband is after a night of listening to their shouting.
You fat, ugly bitch! If today wasn't your birthday...
Jeff, please, you're being...
What? What am I being? Crazy? Unemployed?
So Quagmire goes to the Griffins to ask if Lois can check in on his sister, which she does. At their lunch date, Lois gets Brenda to remove her glasses, revealing a bruised eye, proof that the abuse goes far beyond just insults.
Oh my God.
No, it's really not that bad. It only hurts when I see. You don't see how soft and gentle he hits me when we're alone.
So the group rallies together to host an intervention, where everyone expresses their concerns.
So, you like getting beaten, huh? Well, why don't you smoke a whole carton of cigarettes?
The person I see before me now is just a punching bag.
When Jeff shows up and announces that they're engaged and expecting a baby, Peter stands up to congratulate them and offers baby name suggestions.
Maybe Slappy? Or Bruisey? Or Keep It Down in There'sy?
Despite the intervention, Quagmire decides to kill Jeff by inviting him on a camping trip into the woods after witnessing him abuse Brenda yet again.
Well, what the hell are we doing out here? I thought we were gonna kill him.
So, Jeff...
But things don't go as planned. Jeff has already anticipated what they're planning and pulls a gun on them first.
Just put the gun down and we'll forget this whole thing, okay?
So now you'll forget the whole thing?
Yeah.
No, we can't forget the whole thing.
He knocks out Peter and Joe and takes Quagmire to a secluded area to kill him. Quagmire goads Jeff into fighting with fists rather than shooting him, but he's quickly overpowered, given their size difference. Jeff strangles Quagmire to death. Just as Jeff believes he's getting away with murder, Quagmire rises from the supposed dead, thanks to his history of autoerotic asphyxiation.
I choke myself every day, you bastard.
He then charges at Jeff, effectively ending his life. We then cut to Brenda, who's been crying, wondering where her fiancé is. The trio reveals a note that was definitely written by Jeff, explaining that he had decided to leave Brenda because she was too good for him and deserved a better life.